All right, we are live right now. Hi, everybody. How's everyone doing? Today, I'm very excited to bring my good friend, Sha-en. All right, Sha-en, she's the founder of Happiness Scientist. All right, so we're going to have a conversation with her about how to overcome stress, how to become a happier person. All right, so how many of you are excited to learn about this topic today? Okay, awesome, awesome. All right, Sha-en. So, can you share with our audience a little bit more about yourself so that they get to know more about you?
Okay, hi. Thanks. Hi, everybody. And thanks, John, for having me. My name is Shaen, the founder of Happiness Scientist. I have two daughters,
Wow.
both in primary school. And the work that I do really is to help companies and schools when I design well-being programs, wellness programs to help them to be happier. And I also coach women who are looking to break free of negative emotions like
Mm,
guilt and anxiety and frustration and
mm.
find their purpose and be joyful. Yeah.
Wow, wow, that's a very meaningful mission. So I'm just curious, how did you embark into this path of helping more people? What inspired you?
Yeah, I used to be a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess when I was teaching, I had a lot of students who were academically very smart, but when it
Mm,
came to things like managing their emotions, learning how to get along with people, I found that they didn't really have the skills to do so.
mm.
And so I asked myself, as a teacher, what am I here to do? Am I just here to teach subjects, or am I here to teach the whole student, such that when they leave school, that they can go out there and be able to interact with people, be happy, and do all the things that they want to do. And I
Yeah.
didn't have the answer. So I guess every time I asked the question, I just started looking for materials where it could give me the answer. And I came across this book called Learn Optimism.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was a revelation. Even the title of the book was like, you mean you can learn to be optimistic? I thought, hey, I'm
You
either
want to get the book?
pessimistic or optimistic, right? Yeah. But then when I read it, I applied the strategies for myself, I applied the strategies in my students, and I saw a huge transformation in them
Mm,
and me. And I
mm,
realized, wow, where can I get more of this good stuff?
mm.
So I think one thing led to another, and I went overseas to the University of Pennsylvania to study a master's in positive psychology.
Wow.
Yeah, so that I can really, get all the goodness from all the great minds.
Awesome. So can you share with us how you define happiness? What exactly is happy? What does happiness means to you?
To me, well,
Yeah.
I think to me, I see happiness, the way I define it is happiness is daring to truly live. So that
Mm,
comprises three components. Daring means like courage. I
mm,
guess for me, I took the standard narrative that most people would take. I studied hard, I did well, I went overseas to study, I came back, got a good job, I got a good pay. You know that standard narrative. I got
yeah,
married, I
yeah,
got the kids, I got the house.
yeah.
But then I found myself very unhappy.
Mm,
Yeah, in fact, I landed up in hospital because I was so stressed. I didn't know what to do with my stress.
mm,
That I think my body was bearing the brunt of it. Yeah,
yeah,
and I guess it was at that moment that I asked myself, oh my God, I don't think this is something I want to keep doing to myself,
yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, so I think that was the turning point really for me to like really say, okay, I'm going to dare to do something that's different from the ordinary track. So the
Yeah,
first
wow.
part I think is daring. Then the second part is truly. So I think authenticity.
Mhm.
So many of us walk around with so many masks. We go to
Mm,
work, we put on a mask.
mm.
Sometimes even with our friends, we don't tell them how we're feeling.
Yeah.
And how many of us are really authentic to who we are living out there in the world.
Mm,
So to me, always trying to be more and more authentic and be who I am, so that
mm.
what you see is on stage, for example, or now, John,
Yeah.
is when you meet me, that's who I'm gonna be. So
Yes.
that's what I strive for,
Yes.
authenticity. And then the last one is living. Many people misconstrue happiness as, oh, must always put on the happy smile, walk around. And
Mm, yeah.
after a while, it feels very fake, right?
Mm,
But living, I think, is encompassing both the positive and the negative. As we go through the high moments of celebration, we also go through the low moments where we feel sad, we feel,
mm,
anger.
mm.
But we appreciate both sides because that's what the human experience is like.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my definition.
Wow. That's a
Yeah.
huge definition. I learned so much. So let's talk
Yeah.
about negative emotions, right? Like it's
Mm.
very natural that human beings we feel depressed, we feel sad, right? At times, what advice would you give to our audience on handling like negative emotions? What tips would you give to our audience?
Yeah, I mean, negative emotions, I think we want to understand what emotions are for in the first place. Emotions just tell us what's going on with us. So when we have sadness, like now, a lot of us experience sadness and grief because we have lost something. We've lost some freedom to go out and meet our friends as regularly as we want. We can't go out without a mask.
Yeah.
So we understand that sadness is about loss. Anger is about justice. You'll get angry because someone did something that's against your values.
Yeah.
So I think once we understand that, we can say that, it comes and it goes. So let's not hold on to it for too long, because if we hold on to it, then we are considered dwelling in it, and it can impact us in a negative way. Right? So that's one. Like, try not to hold on to it for too long. And the second one is that in order to counteract negativity, we've got to be intentionally think of something that's positive. It's almost like a tension like that, right? With a horse and blinkers. If it's only looking here, that's all you can see. But how about shifting our attention over there? Oh, hey, there's a bright light over there. Maybe we can shift our attention to notice that a bit more, and to try to enjoy that part a bit more, and to be grateful for those things. Doesn't mean that the things here don't exist. They do. But we want to look at the whole experience and realize that it's not all bad. There's some good stuff, and balance it out.
Yes, an attitude of gratitude, right? Always being thankful for a lot of good things. Like we can be thankful for even like our good health, our parents, our friends, our loved ones. There are so many things to be thankful for.
Yeah.
Right. So can you share with our audience, like for example, during this COVID-19 situation, right, where everything is so challenging, what are some ways for them to actually overcome like this stress during this period of time?
Yeah, one of the ways I think is the immediate response to stress. When our stress is heightened, we can feel tension in our body. We can feel our heart rate go up, and we feel that our breathing becomes very shallow. So I really encourage everyone in those moments not to move from one thing to the other. Sometimes we try to distract ourselves. We're anxious, okay, go and do something else. We are scared, we're going to do something else. But instead, we can pause. Right? We pause and then we take deep breaths. I know you've probably heard this many times. But there's a very good technique that John, you're also very familiar with, which we call box breathing. And, and I think it's about focusing on being present, being aware. And so you breathe in for 4 seconds and then you hold, breathe out for 4 seconds and then you hold. And in that moment, thoughts may come in, emotions may come in, but you don't have to take them and make them yours yet. You see, it comes, but you can just say, oh, I see you. All right, just give me a moment, and then you don't have to take it and put it here. So take a break, take a pause. And then maybe with a bit more objectivity, you may find that the stress doesn't have to be so overwhelming.
Wow. Okay. Awesome. So, what about for people that, what about yourself, right? When you're feeling stressed, what kind of activities do you take part in?
Yeah. Oh, I tell you, every morning for the past 2 weeks, I've been going for morning walks, and I realized how really good it is for me. Number one, being out in nature has a calming effect. Nature itself has scientifically been proven to be good for our emotions anyway. And then the walking, which is exercise, also stimulates the positive hormones that help us to feel good. So on both counts, that's actually really helpful. So if you can't get out to a park, then I would say if you're feeling stressed and you're going from one Zoom meeting to another meeting or one client meeting to another meeting, you can take a walk in the space that you are. Some kind of movement is always good. Even if you have 5 minutes, do 5 jumping jacks for 5 minutes, or like do boxing exercises, so you can get the stress out of your system.
Wow. So just now you actually mentioned that you serve women, right? You serve
Yes.
women and you help to empower them. Can you share with us a little bit more? How do you help this group of people?
Yeah, so many of them come to me feeling very guilty. Many of them are moms because they relate to the fact that I'm also a mom. And they feel guilty because they're working so hard. But then they're so scared because like they work hard because they want to keep their job. Because of COVID, they're scared to lose their job, so they work harder and harder. But that means that they have less and less time for their kids. So their fear becomes anxiety. Anxiety becomes guilt. Then they feel very frustrated because they're kind of stuck between the ocean and the rock and a hard place. And then they think, I could be doing something else. There's so much out there for me to do. And then they compare themselves on social media and think, that person looks so happy. Why is it on the outside I'm okay, but on the inside I feel so disconnected with
Yeah.
who I am.
Mother's
So
Day,
what I
right?
do, and then they start to think that they are not worthy anymore. They think that they are not capable people anymore. But actually, when people look at them, they think they're quite silent.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of feeling. And how I help them is to help them to kind of rediscover who they are, identify what they're good at, their strengths, go back to the negotiables and their non-negotiables, and also give them strategies to manage the stress and anxiety. I think
Yeah.
sometimes as women, we take on a lot of societal narratives, like,
Mm.
oh, women must be the caregiver most of the time, which ends up being the truth. The research proves that women still take on at least 65% of the household work. And so, but just reassuring them that number one, they're not alone. And when they feel that they're lousy, treat themselves kindly, talk to themselves nicely, as if they're best friends talking to them. So I think it's just walking with them in a journey to become the version of themselves that they want to be.
Wow. So, Shaen, you have an upcoming webinar, right? You have an upcoming webinar to actually
Yes.
share more, right, about this topic, right, with a lot of women. Can you share with us a little bit more about this upcoming webinar to our audience today?
Yeah, in this webinar, I think you will learn the 5 golden keys that will help you to get unlocked from the trapped or the stuck feeling that you have right now, so that you can step out of some people call it a prison, some people call it a box. Basically, you're stuck somewhere and you need keys, right? So I'm going to teach you what are those 5 keys and the steps you can, how to use the 5 keys to get out of that, so that you can, be more joyful. You can smile genuinely, not the fake smile, plaster smile. And then just be free, to go and just pursue the goals that you want.
Wow, I love it. So for those of you that are interested in this topic, right, I'll actually put the link below, all right, so you can actually join the webinar and learn from Shaen, all right? So one last question, Shaen, can I ask you, how did you came up with the name Happiness Scientist?
I think most people find the name very catchy. Well, whenever I tell people I teach happiness, they always think, happiness is so fluffy. Can teach me? Can learn me? And so what I actually went to study is all grounded in empirical evidence and research. And so it's very scientific, right? They get people to do so-called experiments. And then, people do it over time, people do it in large numbers, and from there they gather the results. So it's not like I went to Google something or my grandmother told me something, I tell you now. It has been proven to work. And therefore, the word scientist is meant to convey that it's grounded in research. And therefore, it's going to help you, it's going to be effective. And it's not all that fluffy after all.
Wow, I love it.
Yeah.
All right, so I hope you guys enjoy this session with Shaen. I hope that you guys love this video. All right, so for those of you that like videos like this, do subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the notification bell, because every day we'll be launching new videos like this to help you to grow your business. All right, so once again, thank you so much for your time, Shaen. I hope that our audience love you. I hope some of them
Thanks,
will actually
John.
go to your webinar and learn more from you. All right.
Yes, look forward to seeing all of you there.
All right. Thank you so much, Shaen. Thank you, everyone. Have a good rest. Bye-bye.
Bye. Take care.